I am very bored by the aesthetics of the cinema. I regard the whole bag of tricks of the cinema as being so petty and so simple and so uninteresting, essentially. It's what a film says and its real effect, rather than a question of cinematic style and plastic Schreiner, you know, all this kind of... The storyteller's first duty is always to the story.
From the beginning, Wells and his screenwriter Herman Mankiewicz chose a radical approach to their storytelling. They would fragment their portrait of a rich and powerful public figure, seeing his life from different points of view. Mankiewicz had been personally acquainted with just such a man, one of America's sacred monsters, the notorious Yellow Press Baron, William Randolph Hearst. In fact, which came first? Was it the story of Citizen Kane, or was it the idea of looking at a life from a lot of different...
That was what came first. But my co-author, Mankiewicz, took off with me on the idea of making it based on some big American figure. And we thought of a president. That was because Hughes had got us started thinking that way. And I wasn't going to have played Hughes, because I wouldn't have been good in it. It was going to be Cotton who would have played Hughes. And we said, well, let's get a part I can play. And finally, before we decided what sort of big man it would be, we began on this idea of seeing it from various points of view. And the original scripts, or at least storylines, had much more dramatic differences of point of view. It was much more of a trick. It was much more Rashomon than it ended up being. In other words, the story got a little better than the gag.
What sort of things were they? What sort of things?
Well, just that, you know, the man who hated him, and you saw that. I'm sorry. For instance, a man who hated him, you would then see a scene in which Kane was totally hateful. Somebody who loved him, you would see him totally lovable. And that isn't so in the movie, you know. We see what he is all the time, I think, or at least we tried to do it.
Kane, the screenplay. Herman Mankiewicz's original 250 pages will go through 5 complete drafts. Structure and narrative radically altered. Characters and scenes added, deleted. Some scenes planned, even shot, then deleted.